Everything changed when Connor McDavid finally spoke. As the hockey world argued over Edmonton's bold coaching decision, one powerful message from the Oilers captain quickly grabbed everyone's attention. Fans expected a careful answer, but what followed changed the conversation in a big way. Behind the headlines, an even bigger story is just beginning to unfold. The Edmonton Oilers have made one of the biggest moves of the NHL offseason. After another season that ended without a Stanley Cup, the team decided it was time for a new direction. The Oilers officially hired Mike Babcock as their new head coach. The decision immediately became one of the biggest stories in hockey because Babcock is one of the most successful coaches in NHL history. This was not an easy decision for Edmonton. The Oilers had reached back-to-back Stanley Cup finals under Chris Knoblauch, but were unable to win the championship. Then came an early playoff exit, and the organization believed a change was needed. The front office wanted someone with years of experience leading championship teams. They believe Mike Babcock can help the Oilers take the final step. Mike Babcock has built one of the strongest coaching careers in hockey. He won the Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings in 2008. He also guided Team Canada to Olympic gold medals and other international titles. Throughout his career, he became known for demanding discipline, hard work, and strong team play. Edmonton believes those qualities can help a talented roster reach its full potential. Even with all of his success, Babcock's return has created strong reactions. Some fans believe he is exactly the coach the Oilers need. Others still remember the controversy that followed him during his brief time with the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2023. Because of that history, many people wondered how Edmonton's players would react to the hiring. The biggest voice everyone wanted to hear was Connor McDavid. As the captain and leader of the Oilers, his opinion carries great importance. Fans and reporters waited to learn whether he would support the decision or avoid talking about it. Instead, McDavid spoke openly and showed confidence in the team's new direction. McDavid praised Edmonton's coaching staff and called the group elite. He explained that Mike Babcock brings something the organization has never had before. His comments showed that he believes the team is moving in the right direction. He also made it clear that everyone inside the organization is focused on the same goal, winning the Stanley Cup. Babcock later explained why he accepted the job. He said his meetings with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman played a major role in his decision. He saw a group of leaders fully committed to winning. Their passion and determination convinced him that Edmonton was the right place to return to coaching. For Connor McDavid, the coming season may be one of the most important of his career. He has already won scoring titles, MVP awards, and earned recognition as one of the best players in the world. But the Stanley Cup remains the biggest prize. Every season without a championship increases the pressure on both McDavid and the Oilers. McDavid also shared another important message. He said he still believes in the identity of the Edmonton Oilers. Rather than focusing on outside criticism, he showed confidence in his teammates and the organization's plan. His words reminded fans that the players remain united and are focused on improving together. The fan reaction has been mixed. Many supporters believe Babcock's experience gives Edmonton a better chance to finally win the Stanley Cup. Others remain cautious because of his past and want to see how he works with today's players. Both sides agree that this will be one of the most closely watched coaching changes in the NHL. There is no question about the expectations in Edmonton. This team is no longer rebuilding. The Oilers have a roster filled with elite talent, including Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Reaching the playoffs is no longer enough. Reaching the Stanley Cup final is no longer enough. The goal is to win the championship. As training camp gets closer, every decision Mike Babcock makes will receive attention. Fans will watch his systems, his communication with players, and the team's performance on the ice. Every victory will build confidence. Every defeat will create new questions. That is the challenge of coaching a team expected to compete for the Stanley Cup. One thing is already clear. Connor McDavid has publicly supported Edmonton's new direction. Mike Babcock has returned with another chance to prove himself, and the Oilers believe this partnership can help bring lasting success. Now the talking is almost over. The real answers will come on the ice, where every game will show whether this bold decision was the right one.
Is my intent going to be kind every day? 100%. I'm here to help Connor, Leon, Zach, and the guys get what they want. That's my priority. And I'm going to do everything I can. They're men. They're going to be clear with me, and I'm going to be clear with them. And we're going to try to do it in a respectful fashion.
Something shocking happened. a direct message to Connor McDavid, and suddenly, the spotlight shifted to Mike Babcock. During his first days as Edmonton Oilers head coach, Babcock delivered comments that quickly spread across the hockey world. The words were simple, but they carried major weight. As more details emerged, attention around Edmonton's leadership group continued to grow. Mike Babcock's return to the NHL has already become one of the biggest stories of the offseason. When he met with reporters, many expected discussions about systems, line combinations, and strategy. Instead, Babcock focused on the players leading Edmonton's Stanley Cup chase. One statement immediately stood out. Babcock said, "I'm here to help Connor, Leon, Zach, and the guys get what they want. That's my priority." The comment quickly became one of the most talked about moments from his first media appearances with the Oilers. The players he mentioned are the foundation of the organization. Connor McDavid remains the face of the franchise. Leon Draisaitl continues to be one of the NHL's elite scorers. Zach Hyman has become a major leader on and off the ice. Those names were not mentioned by accident. Babcock made it clear that his focus is on helping Edmonton's core group pursue a Stanley Cup. His comments showed where his attention is directed as he begins this new chapter with the team. The Oilers continue to operate in a championship window. Expectations remain high throughout the organization. Every season brings pressure. Every playoff run is measured against one goal: winning the Stanley Cup. That reality makes every coaching decision important. It also explains why Babcock's first public comments received so much attention. Rather than speaking about himself, he repeatedly spoke about the players leading Edmonton's championship hopes. As coverage of the interviews continued, another part of Babcock's message started attracting attention. This time, the focus shifted toward communication. Babcock described how he plans to work with the Oilers leadership group moving forward. He explained that conversations with key players have already taken place. According to Babcock, communication will be direct and honest. That approach became a major talking point across hockey media. Babcock said, "Am I going to make mistakes every day? Is my intent going to be kind every day?" 100%. The quote immediately became one of the most discussed parts of his introduction as Oilers head coach. The statement stood out because it focused on accountability. It focused on intent. It focused on how he plans to approach this opportunity in Edmonton. The wording was simple, but many people took notice. The timing also mattered. Edmonton enters another season with major expectations. Connor McDavid remains one of the most important players in the sport. Leon Draisaitl continues to play at an elite level. The pressure to compete for a championship remains constant. Every move made by the organization is viewed through that lens. Every roster decision matters. Every coaching decision matters. Every step is connected to the goal of bringing a Stanley Cup back to Edmonton. That is why Babcock's message carried such importance. His comments repeatedly returned to the same idea: helping the leadership group achieve its goals, supporting the players at the center of Edmonton's championship pursuit. The reaction from hockey media reflected that focus. Coverage from NHL outlets, Sportsnet, and Oilers-focused publications highlighted the same theme. Babcock's priority is working with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and the rest of the leadership group. What made this story different was the absence of complicated hockey talk. There were no long discussions about systems. There were no detailed explanations about tactical adjustments. Instead, the message remained focused on people: trust, communication, clarity. Those ideas appeared throughout Babcock's interviews. They formed the foundation of his earliest public remarks as Edmonton's new head coach. For Oilers fans, the season ahead will provide the next chapter. The conversations happening now will eventually be measured by results on the ice. Wins will matter. Playoff success will matter. Progress toward a Stanley Cup will matter. But before a single game has been played, Babcock has already established his public position. I'm here to help Connor, Leon, Zach, and the guys get what they want. That's my priority. Those words became the headline. He followed with another clear statement. They're men. They're going to be clear with me, and I'm going to be clear with them. Then came the quote that continued generating discussion throughout the hockey world. Am I going to make mistakes every day? Is my intent going to be kind every day? 100%. Shocking rumors have been spreading across the hockey world, and many Toronto Maple Leafs fans were left stunned. Social media exploded, wild theories started flying, and people began wondering if something huge was happening behind the scenes. But as new information started coming out, the story became even more surprising. And what insiders are now saying could completely change how fans view the future of this franchise.
Last word, you hadn't had a chance to meet face-to-face with Austin just yet.
Yeah.
What's the intention there? Is there a timeline? Is there an intention to go meet with him? And what would you like to hear from him? Or what have you heard from him that's encouraging for you at this point?
Yeah, I'm encouraged. We've had a lot of great discussions, and honestly, I saw a happy captain that is very, a lot of pride in being the captain of Toronto Maple Leafs.
For Toronto Maple Leafs fans, the last few weeks have been full of questions. The team once again fell short of its ultimate goal, and disappointment spread throughout the fan base. Whenever a talented team fails to meet expectations, people begin looking for answers. This time, many fans started wondering if the organization would make a huge move involving its biggest star, Austin Matthews. Matthews is not just another player. He is the captain of the Maple Leafs and one of the best goal scorers in the entire NHL. Over the years, he has become the face of the franchise. Because of that, any rumor connected to his future quickly grabs attention. As soon as discussions about major roster changes started appearing online, some fans feared that Matthews could somehow become part of a blockbuster trade. The rumors became even louder because Toronto recently entered a new chapter under general manager John Chayka. Whenever a new general manager takes control of a team, people expect changes. Fans begin asking difficult questions. Will the new GM keep the same core players? Will he start a rebuild? Will he trade a superstar to create a new direction? These questions created the perfect environment for speculation. As the rumors spread, many fans became nervous. Some believed the Maple Leafs needed a dramatic change after years of playoff frustration. Others argued that trading a player like Matthews would be a huge mistake. The debate quickly divided the fan base. Social media was filled with opinions, predictions, and emotional reactions. Every new report seemed to create even more uncertainty. This news brought relief to many fans. For years, Matthews has been one of the most dangerous offensive players in hockey. Players with his skill level are extremely difficult to replace. That is why many people around the league never believed a trade was realistic. While fans were worried about rumors, insiders were seeing a different picture. They saw a team that still wanted to win, with Matthews leading the way. The reports also gave fans a better understanding of John Chayka's possible vision for the organization. Since arriving as general manager, Chayka has been under pressure to improve a team that has struggled to turn regular season success into playoff success. Fans wanted answers, and many expected major changes. But major changes do not always mean trading your biggest star. Sometimes, the smarter move is changing the pieces around him. That appears to be the direction Toronto is taking. Instead of tearing everything down, the Maple Leafs seem focused on retooling the roster. Retooling means keeping the core of the team together while making adjustments in other areas. It allows a franchise to remain competitive while trying to fix the problems that have held it back. For Toronto, that can mean changes to coaching, player depth, defensive structure, or overall team strategy. The coaching situation has become another major part of the conversation. With the organization continuing its search for the right coach, many fans believe the next hire could have a huge impact on the future of the franchise. If the right coach is brought in, Toronto may believe it can finally take the next step in the playoffs. That possibility makes keeping Matthews even more important. Still, not every fan agrees. Some supporters believe years of playoff disappointment prove that bigger changes are needed. They argue that something dramatic must happen for the team to move forward. Others strongly disagree and believe Matthews gives the Maple Leafs their best chance to win a Stanley Cup. This debate will likely continue throughout the offseason. What is clear right now is that the fear surrounding an Austin Matthews trade appears to have cooled down. The latest reports suggest Toronto is not looking to move its captain. Instead, the organization seems focused on building around him and finding ways to finally break through when the games matter most. And that may be the biggest takeaway from this entire story. While fans were focused on trade rumors, the real story may have been happening behind the scenes. John Chayka could be working on a completely different plan for the Maple Leafs. The question now is whether that plan will finally bring the success Toronto fans have been waiting for.
The NHLPA has told the NHL they want to go through with an investigation into Mike Babcock before he can be hired by the Edmonton Oilers. We get the latest Wednesday from our hockey insider Pierre LeBrun. The NHL is moving ahead with its investigation on Mike Babcock and events in Columbus. Darren Dreger adds this: there's no timeline on how quickly this can be carried out. The Oilers are aware of this. Players involved, etc. in 2023 will have to be interviewed. If Babcock were to back out at this stage, a league source says there would be no reason to investigate.
Everything looked finished. The Edmonton Oilers appeared ready to make a major move that could change the future of the franchise. Then, without warning, a new development stopped everyone in their tracks. Suddenly, fans, players, and hockey insiders were all talking about the same thing. What seemed like a simple coaching search has now turned into one of the biggest NHL stories of the offseason. The Edmonton Oilers entered this offseason with one clear goal. They needed to find the right coach to help the team take the next step. After another disappointing end to their season, there was pressure on the organization to make a strong decision. For a while, it looked like the Oilers had found their answer. Reports began linking the team to veteran coach Mike Babcock, a name that hockey fans know very well. Mike Babcock has one of the most successful coaching resumes in NHL history. He won a Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings and spent many years coaching some of the league's biggest stars. His experience, leadership, and history of winning made him an attractive option for a team that wants to compete for a championship right now. For many Oilers fans, the idea made sense. The team has elite talent, and bringing in an experienced coach seemed like a logical move. But then, the story took an unexpected turn. As reports about Edmonton's interest in Babcock continued to spread, the NHL Players Association stepped into the spotlight. Instead of simply allowing the hiring process to move forward, the union reportedly called for a review of Babcock's past controversies before any final decision could be made. Suddenly, what looked like a routine coaching search became one of the biggest stories in hockey. The reason goes back to events that happened during Babcock's short time with the Columbus Blue Jackets. In 2023, concerns were raised by players regarding interactions involving personal phone photos. The situation quickly became a major topic across the league. Soon after, Babcock resigned from his position before coaching a regular season game for Columbus. Even though several years have passed, that controversy has never completely disappeared. The Oilers are not a team that can afford to waste time. They have two of the best players in the world, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Every season that ends without a Stanley Cup creates more pressure on the organization. Fans want results, management wants results, and most importantly, the players want results. That is why this coaching search matters so much. When a team is trying to win a championship, every decision is important. The head coach sets the culture, manages the locker room, and helps guide the team through difficult moments. If the Oilers choose the wrong coach, it could have serious consequences. But if they find the right coach, it could help push the team closer to the championship they have been chasing for years. The NHLPA's reported request for a review has now added another layer of uncertainty. Instead of focusing only on hockey decisions, the conversation has shifted toward trust, leadership, and player relationships. Around the league, many fans and analysts are debating whether bringing Babcock back would be worth the risk. Some supporters believe his experience could be exactly what Edmonton needs. They point to his winning history and his ability to manage talented teams. They argue that successful coaches are difficult to find and that the Oilers should focus on results. Others see the situation very differently. They believe that modern NHL locker rooms require strong communication and strong relationships between coaches and players. For them, any concerns raised by players deserve serious attention. That is one reason why the NHLPA's involvement has become such a major talking point. As the debate continues, Oilers fans have found themselves split into different groups. Some want the organization to move forward with Babcock. Others want Edmonton to look elsewhere and avoid the controversy altogether. No matter which side fans support, one thing is clear. This story is no longer just about hiring a coach. It is about the direction of the entire franchise. For now, many questions remain unanswered. Will the Oilers continue pursuing Mike Babcock? Will concerns from the past affect the final decision? And how will players inside the organization view whatever choice management ultimately makes? The answers could shape Edmonton's future for years to come. What seemed like a simple coaching search has turned into one of the biggest offseason stories in hockey. The spotlight is now firmly on the Oilers